Hey, what's happening, gamers? Welcome back to Superman Returns on KwingsLetsPlays. And Amber doesn't have her mic in.
Oops.
It's time to go. Oh, sorry, civilian.
Why?
Up, and away.
I think you punched that guy because you thought he was better looking than you.
No, I had some red kryptonite that Lois accidentally gave me.
Oh.
So it made me a little crazy for a second, but we're all good now.
Can I say, if I was Lois, I would give Superman red kryptonite once in a while, just so he'd be a little bit meaner than me, so I wouldn't have to feel bad that I was the meanest person in the relationship.
She had to feel terrible when she realized that Clark was Superman, because she was pretty mean.
Yeah, she was a complete jerk.
Yeah. And that's what I would think.
And he is such a sweet, kind guy from, you know, out in the middle of nowhere.
Bizarro
And,
uh-oh. Bizarro!
I picture Superman as the kind of guy who would randomly, like, tenderly stroke a bunny's fur and be like, "It's okay, little guy."
Alright, so we have to face Bizarro now.
No! This is bizarre.
Right?
Meh. Sometimes I wish I could give you red kryptonite so I could feel a little better. You're so sweet.
No.
Yes, you are.
Chill out, Bizarro.
I wish I could give everyone in the chat red kryptonite because you guys are all so sweet. Okay, I'm being weird now.
That's not how Bizarro is supposed to sound. Eh.
Yeah, Bizarro's supposed to say... It's almost like he talks in like a... He talks in baby talk, but he is a zombie-like creature.
I'm not your friend. I'm sorry, Bizarro.
I felt like Bizarro... They had a really good voice for Bizarro in Injustice.
Yeah, they did.
That's the only thing I wanted to do for Christmas. I wish we could still do that for New Year's. Red versus Green Injustice.
We already did Red versus Green in Injustice.
No, but I wanted to do it again.
Do it again? That's
what I said, and I was saying it all week before Christmas. I was like, you weren't listening.
Whoa! See? Sorry, I'm in the middle of something, sweetie.
It's fine.
Oh no! What? How did he do that move? That's not cool.
So, how do we defeat Bizarro? Just keep punching him?
Yeah, I mean, that's how Superman deals with problems in life. He just punches things.
Punches through it.
Exactly.
Boom.
I mean, you can see we're kind of hurting Bizarro a little bit there. Of course, I feel bad. I don't believe that Bizarro is really a bad guy. You know?
Yeah, he's not a bad guy. He's just a bad guy.
Exactly.
Well, I feel like he wants to help, but he doesn't know how because he does the opposite of helping.
Oof. What are you doing there, Bizarro?
That hurt a lot.
I'm sorry!
It's like that one relative that you ask to water your plants, and then they do, but then they're like, oh no, I made sure to extra water your plants, so 3 times as much. And it's like, thanks for that. My plants are all dead now.
Where'd he go?
That's basically how I see Bizarro. It's like, he tries to help, but he completely destroys everything.
Exactly.
It's
Bizarro!
like... With friends like that, who needs enemies? Because it's like, you might as well not have asked him to help at all. In fact, I don't think Superman ever does ask him to help. He just comes in and wants to help.
Whoa, ow. Alright. Hey! Your fight's with me there, buddy. Let's not, go a little cray-cray there. I don't like Supernova.
And this is why everyone should buy those self-watering sticks to put in your plant pot things.
Leave that civilian alone, fool!
Friend tried to kill Bizarro. That am good.
Okay, so apparently we can't grab Bizarro, and so we just have to do a flurry of punches. And bam! Okay, never mind.
It's really hard for me to interpret Bizarro's speech. Like, I don't understand.
I mean, he's supposed to be speaking backwards, so...
Yeah.
Seriously, Bizarro, what is going on with you, my friend? I mean, we're not really friends, but... Nope!
Well, I feel like you kind of want to be his friend. Superman kind of wants to be friends with everyone. It's like, you can always sit next to Superman.
Destroy everything.
Wait, what? Stop him, Superman!
He's gonna destroy everything?
But
I thought... Okay.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense, doesn't it?
Well, Superman sat next to that one youngling at lunch in Shazam.
Young person.
Young person.
Youngling only works in Star Wars.
I like using the word.
It's weird. Younging.
Youngin.
Youngin. Young person.
I don't like saying the word young person. It's weird.
Okay. But I don't like improper use of youngling. It triggers me.
Really?
Yeah, especially when we're talking about a DC property now.
Well, we play so much Star Wars, it doesn't matter. It's all.
I can't help it. It's what the Rise of Skywalker movie's out. We're gonna be playing some more Star Wars. We actually reinstalled Star Wars Battlefront 2, which, oh dear.
And now I have to keep up with the books.
Ah! Dragons! Oh my gosh.
What I need is like a tiny little lamp.
Tiny
Next.
lamp for dragons?
No, for my books, my Star Wars books. Now I'm gonna need a lamp. I can't read them at night unless I have a lamp.
Okay, okay.
I have a huge blinding light. It's either blinding light or nothing at all.
Oh my gosh.
It's not a very good way to read books at night.
So, you've probably noticed that the enemy types have changed now. So instead of dealing with robots, now we're dealing with dragons.
Oh wow, Luke, I just noticed that the enemy types have changed. No, I didn't notice that, actually. That's pretty awesome.
Up, and away!
Oh, sorry.
Copyright. And this video's been taken down. And we didn't make any money on it. Then we're sad and we're on the street now. We still have to watch this movie together. I think you might like Superman Returns. One of the big things about the Man of Steel, Superman, and Justice League and BVS is Superman didn't really go around saving a lot of people, but Superman Returns, you know, Brandon is actually going around and saving people all over the world, just showing how OP Superman really is.
Yeah. Well, no, I think that's great. I feel like the Superman that we got with the whole thing where everyone was like suing him and it was all dark and stuff, I feel like the amount of people that he did save like wasn't shown. Like the few issues that maybe he made a mistake or something caused, or maybe there was a fallout from something he did. Like compared to all the people that he actually helped, I feel like it didn't really show that.
Don't you know the building is on fire?
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, how I still would have done it, and I think Zack Snyder should, I don't think they should have been worried about Superman facing Doomsday just yet. I think that was way too soon.
I feel like everything was completely rushed.
Oh yeah, but I really honestly believe that Batman should have been the villain in the first movie, or the crossover, and
That would have been great.
have Superman die from Batman. And like, you know, yeah, that would change it up quite a bit, and then have Batman realize that was all a mistake, and Lex Luthor wound him up for nothing. That to me would be pretty awesome.
Wait, you would really have Batman kill Superman?
Yes, I would. I would have Batman kill him. No Doomsday, just Batman. You don't need.
Wow, that's crazy, Luke.
I know. I think that's pretty dope.
Crazy, awesome.
Wait, what happened?
Well, I mean, for me, just saying, if I was living in this remote village, and Superman, maybe he saved, like, tons of different villagers or whatever, but then there was some fallout from something he did and a few villagers died or whatever, and I'd be like, well, you know what, you saved more people than you destroyed, so I guess it makes sense.
Is that building still on fire? Did we manage to save the building, or is it totally destroyed?
I don't even remember what Superman was on trial for in that movie.
He was on trial for attacking a country or something.
Attacked a country? I thought there was something that happened because of his attack. Like, I thought he was trying to be somewhere.
Lex paid off that one village lady to come and say that Superman wiped out her entire village, but
he didn't?
What she failed to mention, it was a village of terrorists. So, I mean, yeah.
So, like, they were all people that were basically, like, had a bunch of weapons and they were terrorizing other people.
The big problem I have with Zack Snyder, though, even though he was going to make, like, a Lord of the Rings trilogy, saga, and Batman was going to die at the end of it and things like that, he doesn't like legacy characters, just like Dido.
Yeah.
So he really did kill Richard Grayson. He really did kill Jimmy Olsen.
I feel like, as much as I really like how Zack Snyder always wanted to make a point in his movies...
Oh, he makes...
I feel like...
What the heck? How can there be robots again?
The movies would have been... They would have done better if he would have just eased off of his, like... He was trying to make a statement, and, like, he's always trying to make a point. I feel like if he tried to ease off of the moral point, or whatever he's trying to say, or a political statement or whatever, he just eased off of it a bit, and then just focused more on how awesome Superman is and saving cats from trees, that might have made more people, like, more happy to watch the movie.
People wanted to see Superman save people. I mean, you can't really knock Brandon Routh's Superman because he actually... The only thing that they should have done different, that Bryan Singer, going back, and he even stated this, he was like, you know what, maybe the idea, he says, I was trying to do some world building, and I was going to introduce, he says, I did introduce Metallo in my movie. John Corbin is the thug that Superman deals with during the heist. Like,
Oh, yeah, well, I mean, like, I feel like Zack Snyder... A lot of the points that he makes in his movies are awesome. Like, he makes some great points. He makes some very riveting, like poignant arguments, or things that are very dramatic that make you think about right and wrong and what is a real moral dilemma here. Like, it's like, wow, this is really interesting. Like, this is, deep or whatever. And then, but in reality... I feel like the Marvel movies have them beat because it's just Iron Man on stage saving a bunch of, people that need help, and that's the whole thing. Just saving people that need help.
Marvel's going to be in trouble because they got rid of their, like, well-known characters, and they're going to try to introduce some other ones. But
yeah, like, that's going to work.
We're going to find out what happens. A lot of people that I've talked to, they're done with the MCU except for the Spider-Man movies.
I have no problem... Okay. I have no problem with the guy, like, okay, if I would like to see Falcon take the reins of, Captain America. That would be interesting.
That needs to be a movie, not a TV series. That's kind of an important thing.
Why would they push that to a TV series? What? They pushed that to they pushed but he's the new Captain America, so they pushed Captain America
to the actor even said Sam's not even using the name of Captain America right now.
Why?
But he's going to have the shield, but he and Bucky are going to be doing things. It's like, so Bucky's your sidekick now, or your partners? And he's like, well, I guess you have to watch the Disney Plus show, and it's like...
It feels like these actors, like, I feel like he has an opinion. Like, I feel like he has an opinion screaming to come out, but he's not allowed to say it because he doesn't want to get in trouble with Disney.
He needs to be the next Captain America. I mean, that's...
If I was him, if I was the guy playing Falcon...
Oh, whoops!
And, and I don't know. I feel like it's very important, not just because Falcon needs to be Captain America, but also because I feel like it's, it's very...
But we switch gears a little bit, so let's go back to Superman. So, getting back to the whole Superman thing, Bryan Singer gets a lot of hate, even though he was the X-Men guy. He did X-Men, X-Men United, X-Men First Class, X-Men Days of the Future Past. He really knows the X-Men. He had a vision for Superman. It was pretty dark, but because, like, how everybody in Man of Steel was so upset that Superman had a lot of people get killed? Like in the buildings and stuff like that. They were like, holy crap, what happened? Well, Bryan Singer's movie, his second one, was going to introduce Brainiac, and Brainiac was going to blow up several countries. Like, just nuke them.
That's crazy.
Right.
Wait, blow up countries?
Yeah, he was going to blow up countries. So in the sequel of Superman Returns, Brainiac was going to appear kind of like Superman: The Quest for Peace. Like, Superman had... Lex created, like, this monster that... lived off sun energy like Superman, but he wasn't Kryptonian. He was kind of like a Superman clone, except he looked like the guy from Rocky. like Dolph Lundgren or something. It wasn't him, but it was that same
type of
same type of like
person.
Yeah, Aryan guy.
I actually don't know who you're talking about, but I'm guessing you're thinking of somebody really buff.
Yeah, he's also the actor who played He-Man in the live action movie.
I think I know who you're talking about.
So you have like this jacked, like blonde guy with muscles who's supposed to be the enemy of Superman. But in the beginning, they're kind of like friends, and they both have superpowers. But Superman, in the quest for peace, is going around disarming people, like getting rid of nuclear weapons and all this other stuff. And then it ends badly when Lex creates a Superman clone. That's not a Superman clone, but it has, like, powers, and it goes crazy and whatever. So Bryan Singer was like, you know what, we're going to pay homage to Superman 3 and 4 in our sequel to Superman Returns, but instead of it being like this, you know, buddy-buddy Kryptonian, the person who comes to Earth who's going to be friends with Superman is actually Brainiac. And Brainiac has a different philosophy than Superman, and he's been evil this entire time. He's just trying to get the world to disarm so he can place it in a bottle and wipe out half the world.
So he's
steal its knowledge, right?
Manipulate Superman.
And also, Brainiac will go and give technology to the world, and the world gets mad at Superman because he's been hiding all this stuff in the Fortress of Solitude because he feels the world's not ready for that advancement. And Brainiac is just kind of handing out, like, you get an advancement, you get an advancement.
Well,
and then
maybe Superman's right, though.
He is right, and Superman has to end up fighting Brainiac in this movie. Now, they took some ideas, and they used it in other Superman cartoon movies and things like that. But more or less, you know, it was kind of like, it never happened. But Bryan Singer, in his defense, he had a lot of plans for Superman, but he didn't get to do it because Superman Returns didn't get the best reception. Everybody loved Brandon Routh in it, but they didn't like the story of Superman basically fighting a kryptonite planet that forges on Earth. There's really no supervillain in the movie other than, you know, Lex.
Oh, I would have liked to see Brainiac as a villain.
Really? I can't save the cat when there's...
Why is it not letting you save the cat?
It won't let me save the cat yet.
Well, I mean, never mind. Yeah, that sounds awesome, Luke. I mean, Brainiac
awesome.
is an awesome villain.
What the heck is that? All right, let's land. No, Superman, don't do that!
I feel like it's okay for Superman to make a moral point to what he's doing, but I feel like the main thing that he's doing needs to do is help people. Like, if he wants to make a moral point on the side, that's fine, but the main thing that you need to show is Superman is helping people. That's the most important thing. Exactly. That's why I feel like the way that they wrote it with Dean Cain's Superman was perfect, because he would help people, and then after 12 episodes of helping people, there would be one problem that would come up, and then he would be like, okay, just so you know, this is what I believe about this. This is right and this is wrong, and I'm just letting you guys know. And then the next episode, he'd be helping people again. So, like, he hardly ever made a moral point, but when he did, he just made it, and then he just kept helping people after that. Yep. So, yeah, I just feel like that was the problem with Zack Snyder's Superman, is not helping people enough. Oh my gosh. Like you said, with Brandon Routh, that it would have been much better just to show. People think it's unnecessary to show all the people he's helping all the time. It is necessary to show. That's the whole point of the movie, it's supposed to be.
That's right. There we go. Okay, the creepy monster's gone. Let's go save that poor kitten that's on top of the Daily Planet.
I mean, when they switched the Henry Cavill Superman and actually had him save those people in that house and stuff, like, he finally looked heroic for once, but he probably was doing that the whole time. They just didn't show it in the movie. Yeah, he goes around saving people in Zack Snyder's universe, but they should have made him more of a heroic figure. Ah, we can't save the cat again. Dang it! All right, I'm on my way. This poor cat, Luke.
I know! I feel so bad for the kitty. Robots again? Are you kidding me? Oh.
Yeah, well, like, never mind. For Batman, him having moral issues of, like, should I destroy Joker, should I not, what's really good, is Catwoman good, is she not, who can I really trust? I feel like his whole life is about moral dilemmas, like, because he's brooding. But Superman is not brooding. He shouldn't worry about that kind of stuff. He should just help people.
Right, and Superman goes through like kind of a crisis in the Superman Returns movie where he's like, oh, my personal life isn't going well. Am I just gonna sit around and mope around? And he's like, no, it's like people need me. And so even though he's dealing with some emotional issues with Lois and, you know, some other stuff, he's still doing his job.
Yeah. I mean that's what really takes character, I guess, is just
it felt a little bit like the Spider-Man movies, like, you know, with great power comes great responsibility, and Superman doesn't make like a monologue or anything like that.
Yeah.
I mean, he's kind of hurt that Lois wrote that article about how the world doesn't need Superman. Because, I mean, it was selfish of him to fly away, though, and go to Krypton. That's also a stupid thing, but...
Well, especially an article written by her, it's like, ow.
Yeah, considering the events of Superman 1 and 2 still happened, and Superman gave up his powers for Lois, they were a couple, and then Superman erased her mind, which I always thought was stupid about Superman 2, but... Because it was kind of neat knowing that Clark Kent was Superman.
Yeah, I feel like...
Gonna save the kitty.
Here, kitty, kitty, kitty.
Yay! We saved the kitty this time! Hooray!
He says it kind of weird, like, here, kitty, kitty.
Well, I mean, they were probably like, hey, Brandon, we got a bunch of lines for you. You know, because they only had the actor for like a day.
Yeah.
And back in the day, you would have, like, if there was a movie tie-in game...
Oh, yeah.
You would have the actor come in for like a day, read a bunch of lines. And some actors would do really well. I think, you know, for the most part, Brandon did a great job reading the cutscene lines. But the in-game dialogue is, yeah, it's a little weird.
Yeah, like sometimes, oh my gosh. I was just thinking of Tobey Maguire reading his lines. It was like, what was that one game when we did with Tobey Maguire where I felt like he just didn't care at all? I don't remember.
Bizarro again. Where is he? Bizarro, knock it off, yo!
It makes sense. I feel like some actors, like, they don't know how to do voice acting. Like, they know how to act when they're on stage, but when they're just acting behind a mic, it doesn't occur to them.
Well, the guy from Boy Meets World said it best. He's like, you know, with stage acting, you're looking over at your partner, you know, the person you're acting with. He says, in voice, it's like the vocal coach has to get a lot out of you. It's totally different.
Well... Like when we were doing Ace Attorney, and also when we've done some other things.
Okay, I don't want to be flying.
Where you said, hey, I want you to be this, you know, lady supervillain or something. And I'll read the line, and then you'll say, no, we're going to do that over again. Because you didn't have emotion. Your voice didn't go up and down. You didn't have, like, emotion when you were saying it. So you, remember, like, I don't know if people know this, but people used to say in the comments when we first were on the air that I sounded like a robot. That was a huge comment that I used to get all the time. And many people don't know this, but this guy over here has been my vocal coach for over 12 years.
I'm trying to. I mean, I don't know if I'm necessarily...
And many of the times where you guys say, like, wow, Amber, you did a really great voiceover this time. Some of the times, it wasn't great the first time. Luke would literally coach me and tell me, hey, you just need to do it a little bit more like this. Especially the laughing. Like the so Luke would have me, like, I watch a lot of anime and learn how to do, like, anime laughter and stuff.
Not dub anime, though. Watch.
No, like the actual anime. Well, I mean, the Japanese voices are usually so expressive, though.
Yes.
But it's not really that hard to take that Japanese voice and transfer it into English. It really isn't. Okay, you're taking the same inflection and the same idea, you're just saying it in English. It's really not that hard. That's why I really get confused about people that dub Japanese anime and they make it sound terrible. It's like, the Japanese actor had it right. You were listening to them the whole time. You could have just done it in the same way they did it. Just say it in English.
Exactly.
It's not that hard. Like, they put him...
Whoa!
Friend tried to kill Bizarro.
Did you just see that?
What?
How the heck did I do that?
I have
It was
no
like
idea.
a 1,000 punch slap thing. It was epic. Alright, I need to learn these combos. It's pretty... there's a lot of stuff to it, apparently.
But I thought, like... I thought that a lot of, like, Japanese voiceover anime actors and stuff like that like many of them will actually sing the theme songs also. And
Yeah.
like they'll actually do like huge tours where they'll go on tour and sing the theme song and do like big like stage things where they'll interview everybody and like it's like a huge thing. Like they'll go on the road and stuff like that. Whereas I feel like American voice actors kind of do that now, but mainly they just sign autographs. I don't feel like American voice actors put on a show for people to promote it.
Yeah.
It's not quite the same. I feel like they don't do as... No offense, but it feels like American voice actors don't do as much work, really. They don't put as much into it.
Yep. Oh my gosh, Bizarro's actually... I like fighting him more than Metallo, though, because he's not really going and attacking the city. It's just like he's coming right after Superman.
Yeah.
Me in pain. Me feel good.
Okay. Ow! Punker?
Did he say me in pain, me feel good?
That's what he said. Unless I heard him wrong. Come on, Bizarro. How bizarre, how bizarre. But yeah, all these characters that you see in this game, these were all planned to appear in future Bryan Singer Superman movies. So we were gonna get Bizarro, we were gonna get Metallo, we were gonna get Brainiac, and what's his name? The yellow guy. Mongol. Mongol was gonna show up. So I mean, if Warner Brothers just would have been a little bit more patient, you know, it probably would have paid off quite a bit. But they were upset because the movie didn't get the reception that Batman Begins, or yeah, it didn't get the reception that Batman Begins did, and so they were just like, you know what, no. Because
which movie didn't get the reception Batman
Superman
Begins?
Returns came a year after Batman Begins.
I didn't realize that.
It had, well, I mean, it just goes to prove that Batman's better than Superman, but nobody was interested in it.
I didn't even realize that it was around the same time at all. I didn't.
Big controversy with the Superman movie, why it didn't do well. No supervillain. People didn't like the fact that Superman had a kid out of wedlock.
Yes.
Although, what people don't remember is in Superman 2, he married Lois.
Oh, yeah.
He gave up his powers, he got married.
Maybe they should have made that more clear.
But then he, you know, when Zod and company comes to Earth, he's gets his powers back and he uses a kiss to erase her mind so that he can protect her by not being involved with her.
I don't know if they already did this in the movie because I didn't see it, but...
Me destroy everything.
Bye, Bizarro.
Goodbye, Bizarro. Hello, Bizarro.
Whoops.
I mean, if I was the one doing the movie, what I would have done is to make it very clear that they had been married. So everything was like completely like, you know, moral legit and stuff, so people weren't like thinking he was just whatever, just, you know.
Yeah.
I feel like that they should have like had a flashback with them and their wedding ceremony, like in the movie. That would have been really good.
More dragons again? My gosh.
But I feel like to other people, like maybe it wouldn't have been a big deal, but for Superman, everyone holds him to such a high moral standard, so it is that important, like, to everybody, because he's like not only seen as a hero in strength, but he's also seen as a moral hero. So yeah,
moral hero character, yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. So I mean, there was a lot of controversial things that happened, and also they really, really hated the fact that Superman didn't have like a real villain. I mean, Lex is very intimidating and does some pretty crazy stuff, but you know, it just, I don't know. If I don't think people would have said as many weird things about Superman Returns if he actually had a real serious threat in his movie. I mean, you know, say what you will about Man of Steel, but Man of Steel had Zod and the Kryptonians that Superman was fighting on equal footing in the beginning. You know, people loved that. People liked Zod, people liked the Kryptonian element. And all Superman Returns does is he saves a bunch of people. He's got some soap opera drama going on in his life because Lois Lane is essentially what Cyclops in the movie. So the Cyclops from the X-Men movie is Lois Lane's husband or fiance or something like that.
Yeah.
And Superman's kid is you can tell he's basically like Clark. Like, he acts shy and he's got asthma, he's got all these problems
Oh my god.
and things like that. And Lois she doesn't even know why she got pregnant. Like, but
Wow,
she realizes
that is weird.
part of the reason why she writes her article, which they don't tell you in the movie, she writes the article because Superman essentially left her when she was with child, but he didn't know. So, I mean, if he probably knew, because everybody, like, they didn't like that about Brandon's character. If he knew, he wouldn't have left Earth. Like, he just...
But I guess sometimes things like that in life happen.
Exactly.
Sometimes you don't know.
Like, because I don't believe that he was a deadbeat dad or anything like that. I mean, he left Earth to try to find Krypton.
And she couldn't really call him on the phone while he was going to Krypton.
No, and he couldn't say goodbye to her because he didn't think he would be gone that long. Now, how they explained it in this video game better is Superman wasn't really gone 5 years because he wanted to. He was attacked by Mongol.
That makes
and he was on Warworld.
That makes so much more sense.
I know. See, I mean, there's a lot of things you can do with superhero movies. You just have to flesh them out properly. And, you know, from what I remember, Superman Returns was a decent movie, but the one thing Amber didn't like that was controversial is you see Superman getting beat up by a bunch of, like, non-powered people.
Well,
it's because he gets doused with kryptonite.
I mean, I saw that in the trailer, and I also kept seeing in the trailer, like, we don't need a savior and stuff.
Yeah,
So I feel like, for me, it felt like the whole reason they were making the movie was to mock Superman. It was like an anti-savior, anti-Superman, anti-religious film, so that's why I did not watch it. I thought, wow, this is weird. I was like, this seems like a really weird movie. Like I don't know.
You're not wrong about that.
I felt as though the movie was mocking Superman, so he wasn't even going to be seen as a hero in it. So I thought, what's the point of watching this if they're going to make a mockery of him? So I just thought... And then I saw in the trailer they were kicking him, and I thought he didn't look like he was being heroic in the trailer at all. So that's a whole reason I never wanted to watch it.
That's why Zach was smart when he cut his trailer. He showed Superman actually doing Superman stuff in the trailer, like saving people and stuff like that. But in the movie, he only saves like maybe 5 or 6 people.
Oh yeah, if I would have seen Superman being on trial and him all sad and in a trailer for the Man of Steel, I wouldn't have seen it. I really wouldn't have. I would like to see him doing something heroic in the trailer. There's no reason, you know, I don't even remember, like, the thing is, back then, my family really didn't have the money to go to the movies very much at all. I can count on one hand how many movies I saw in theaters, like, in, like, 10 years. So, like, I had to really pick and choose. I saw Star Wars Episode 1. I did see, unfortunately, Batman and Robin in theaters. That was one of the few movies I saw in theaters. I did see Mask of the Phantasm with a friend in theaters. That's one of the few movies I saw.
Excellent taste.
And I do remember seeing Batman Begins in theaters.
You saw it with me.
Okay. All right.
You and I have seen all the Batman movies in theaters together.
But I did not
we've seen all the 2000s.
I really had to pick and choose what movies. I mean, if I had begged my family to see Superman, maybe they would have tried to take me. Like, for instance, for Star Wars Episode 1, I begged my family to see Star Wars Episode 1.
Oops. I may be punching civilians here a little bit.
And that's why I ended up seeing it. Little known fact about me, which I don't know, I'm pretty sure that my entire family, except for me, went to the midnight showing of Star Wars Episode 2. But I did not go.
You didn't like The Phantom Menace, so why would you?
I was,
all right.
As a true Star Wars fan, I was very disappointed, so I said no. I am not going. So there you go. That's why it's hard for me to remember that movie or anything. The Episode 1 is the only one I really saw.
Oh my gosh. I like this better than fighting the robots. Ow. It's something different.
Yeah. So yeah, I didn't see any of the Brandon Routh Superman movies.
He was only in one.
Oh.
But there's rumors going around that because he did so well in Crisis, and everybody is still talking about it, for HBO Max, since they're still putting together like high-quality shows and stuff like that, that's where the new Green Lantern like buddy cop show was happening between Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart.
Oh.
Like, everybody is saying that it's highly possible that because Brandon was the breakaway character, even though he's been in the Arrowverse for like 8 seasons as Ray Palmer or whatever,
yeah,
like he was such a delight as Superman and brought so many fans back to watch his performance.
Yeah.
And everybody was talking about high praise and how they would watch a show about Superman.
Yeah.
Warner Brothers is listening, and it's very likely that we'll see in a couple years like a Brandon Routh Superman show based on his character again, but like changing it a little bit, because his character in Crisis, he has a sad ending. Like, he's supposed to be a Superman that has had horrible things happen, like Lois, and the entire Daily Planet was destroyed by the Joker in a gas attack, which is from Kingdom Come.
Wow.
It did happen, so he lost Lois, he lost Perry White, lost Jimmy, lost all his friends because of the Joker. And, you know, it makes him kind of like a bleak individual in the comics. And it leads to a lot of resentment towards Batman, too, and there's eventually a superhero war.
Interesting.
And, you know, at the end of the comic book, Superman and Batman are all friends again, but Superman and some of the Justice League members, there's a lot of people that end up dying and being nuked. So we lose Dick Grayson, we lose Starfire, Nightwing's daughter, which was with Starfire and him. This was like a 90s thing. Kingdom Come is a very interesting book, but it's also kind of sad if you think about all the characters that just die because of a stupid superhero war. So before we had like Marvel Civil War, there was Kingdom Come.
Wow, interesting.
And Dick Grayson was like in his 50s though, but Batman was like 80 something.
That would be an interesting movie.
Yeah, I think DC with Joker, you know, they need to focus on Elseworld stuff. Like, stay away from building continuity until you have like a bigger established universe. For the time being, you could get away with a lot of Elseworld stuff, which I think people would really enjoy.
Yeah, I mean...
Oops. Is he dead?
I guess it's like they have been trying to do what Marvel's been doing, but the thing is that no one can really do that because... Because Marvel did something... I mean, I feel like only people with a massive budget could ever do what Marvel did, which was basically... It feels like they just did a series of over like 20 different films that were all in the same universe, all intertwined, and over the span of like 10 years or something. It's like...
Well, they had Kevin Feige. Kevin Feige was like the Dwayne McDuffie of Marvel movies. So Dwayne McDuffie was able to do that for, you know, DC superhero shows, and had he not, you know, passed away, who knows what Dwayne would have done. Like, he probably would have had Jeff Johns' job in TV and film, if you really think about it.
Probably would have, Luke.
And then we wouldn't be in the rut that we are with DC movies. Also, I just want to bring this up here. One of the great things about movie video games is you had a plethora of, you know, superhero games to look forward to. Like, if they still had that same stigma of, we're just going to produce these games no matter what, years ago, we would have gotten a Wonder Woman video game. And we still haven't.
I really feel like, what in the world is up with that? Because there should be a Wonder Woman game out right now with how popular Wonder Woman is.
If I wanted to make money as a studio for Marvel and DC, I would still release superhero video games. Like, I know that they've changed and they want to make them like big budget thing. It's like, great, do the big budget stuff too, but these movie tie-in games, they can be pretty decent. You know?
Well, I mean, look at that movie game that we played that was a lot of fun, with the little squirrel from Ice Age that was collecting those nuts. I mean, they just made that game randomly because that movie came out. The movie's not even that big of a movie. Like,
this is bad.
I feel like if Ice Age can have a squirrel game, surely Justice League could have a Wonder Woman game. I don't really understand.
No. Get up, Superman. Okay, this is bad. Ah, they're blowing up the city. Stop it.
I mean, maybe it's that people are so afraid the movie or the game won't be
It doesn't matter though.
like
I mean,
up to a certain par, but I feel like if I was the executive, I'd be like, we're making a game. Like, whatever we can get done by this date, we're just pushing it out there, even if it's not that great. Like, let's just make a game. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect.
all right, guys and gals, that's going to do it for this episode. We're going to have to save because our Metropolis is almost destroyed. So like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching the first Bizarro episode. And we'll be back tomorrow with more Superman Returns. Until we meet again, God bless and happy gaming. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.
See ya!